Again, we could go back to square one and head into the deadly Game 7, but we gotta get through this first, especially if you are Team Vamos looking for the third victory in this BO7 as they find themselves on that blue side, coming in with 75% win rate with first pick, SRG on red.
Vamos are eager to disrupt the status quo! Carmilla Sicilian combo has already worked out once, but now the Martis makes an appearance in the land of dawn. Will he decimate the hopes of SRG, or will the Red Giants finally put their foot down?
God, I miss this matchup, especially GB with the Martis. Always gives you that semblance of hope that Vamos are going to win the game. I mean, he's only played it once this entire season, and this is in his playoffs, right? He won that game against Todak, but still was quite a performance. Innocent though, just toying with Nets and Zorn. He's gonna trade his health bar in return. Pretty darn low, in fact, but with Yoons coming to the rescue, it's gonna be kind of a ceasefire down bot.
Always impressive how far Innocent is willing to go, especially on comfort picks like this. He's taking a lot of damage, but it's still okay enough to stay in the lane and continue farming. In terms of emblems, I'm not seeing anything too unusual. Teams are basically going for standard for now. In Pure Rage on Chibi though, we know that he wants to rack up kills on this Martis. Though what I personally am most excited to see, Stormy made a name for himself as a Valentina. Because even when there were big teamfight ultimates to steal, he would always take Decimate when there was a Martis on the enemy team.
Talk about overloading the Valentina. This is one of the ways, I guess. Let's see. I mean, if you get the ball rolling, then Decimate does feel pretty good of a choice, right? You take out Martis with his own ability. Always feels different when you're a Valentina, and you also get to show Warlord how it's done. In fact, both of them sort of switching one of the signature picks, but nonetheless, their mastery on it is pretty darn high in terms of the levels.
One thing to note though, Vamos actually do need to end this game fairly quickly. With Martis and Harry, they really don't have late game scaling to match up against 1-1 and Valentina. If they want to, SRG can actually just play it safe earlier on and go for the full scaling route. Though, I highly doubt they're going to do that.
And that has always been sort of a wish. I feel like we are hoping too much. We wanted to play slow, but they like to play fast. Zorn barely escapes death. So there's no out for the CC. Vamos finds a position in the bush. Yums checks it. This turtle fight is going to be delayed.
Looks like neither jungler feels particularly ready to go for it for now, which is definitely more beneficial for Sky since he wants his purple diversion play, but Skies is already out of there. He's taken his buff pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can see how fast Vamos backed out of it, right? Just letting Smooth go because he has a higher chance of survival. See both junglers at level 6. Grand retreat. Kick stolen by Stormy. Something to watch out for. Smooth from a different angle with the Glorious Pathway to secure the turtle for Vamos, but still, Sakai steals it. Now they finally engage. First blood for Yoom. The rest of Team Vamos on the run. Chibi comes in, wants to look for the threshold, cannot find it. And SRG willing to push it a bit further, but Vamos gets out.
For a moment there, I thought that SRG was just going to back it off and give it away to Vamos. Like I mentioned there, late game scaling is fine. They don't actually have to contest early objectives. But Skies times it perfectly to go in and steal with the retry. And then they even turn it around after Vamos had already used a lot of their resources to pick up a kill. 1.5k gold lead already. If Vamos don't turn this around soon, their ability to keep themselves in the early mid-game power spike will dwindle.
It's a good time to also kind of talk about the possibilities, right? We've already mentioned a few times that SRG, if they win this Grand Finals, it will be the first and ever back-to-back. But what makes it more impressive is that they did it flawlessly through the upper bracket last season, but this season is through that lower bracket. It was a wake-up call from Todak, a bit of a nudge from Red Esports in their lower bracket semis to push them to this point. Taking out one of our legacy builders, I mean, the fact that it's SRG, I don't, what is the ceiling for them, right?
Yeah, it feels like they're going on that completionist route. They're trying to 100% the game while grabbing every achievement along the way. And in their case, the achievements are defeating all of our legacy teams here in MPL Malaysia. it's gonna be hard. Team Vamos, they managed to farm out a little bit to narrow that goal lead against the Red Giants. As long as they stay even, once we get to around the 6 or 7 minute mark, they can really start fighting against SRG. But 5 minutes in, Chibi with no kills. This Martis is not racking up nearly as quickly as before.
Stormy just stole the Decimate. We might be in for some action, right? Having 2 Decimates, 1 on each side. SRG gathering in that middle side. Head towards the turtle. It's the second one. Remember, first one was stolen. Diversion will not amount to anything, maybe just to get some info, but Vamos will start the aggro. Glorious Pathway, Yunus will be the target, but unfortunately, there is no way in for Vamos. Meanwhile, Ness finds the solo kill on the Innocent. Maybe that's the opening. Zorn brought down low, not dead yet. Decimate from Stormy though. You gotta watch out for this guy. He might be bootleg, but still is deadly. Guys finds the second turtle.
Leave it to Stormy. He will always try to steal the Decimate. Even with his Glorious Pathway, when there's Diversion, nope, he wants those kills. Unfortunately, Innocent did end up losing his 1v1, so that will allow Nets to keep himself in the game somewhat here. And that's very important for Team Vamos. They need either Nets or Chibi to be popping off. And since Chibi is not able to get those kills, a lot of the pressure falls down onto this Harith. Innocent needs to try not to make those sort of mistakes. He's already gotten regular season MVP twice. We have to remember he did get playoffs MVP last season as well. If they're really going for completionist route, imagine if he gets this too.
Possibility is always there, but you look at Team Vamos, right? The Hall of Legends inductee Zorn. They also got Smooth, once a regular season MVP, Divergent to the back. An attempted AOG escape, but good kick from Zorn to prevent that from happening. Sure, Vamos finds a kill, but that top tier 2 is just getting battered by Cram.
Yep, Cram on the CC, also one of his comfort picks, able to make a lot happen with this hero. We already see how much damage he's able to output onto Zorn, the roamer on the side of... Oh, Skies!
He's playing with fire a little bit, forcing out the Zaman Force. Stormy is blocking that bush, and there's really nothing that Vamos can do, so... I mean, this is one of the slower games, right? Considering that both teams have been brawling for 5 games straight, and the fatigue setting in, but SRG, even with a more passive approach to the game, they still are leading 2.5k.
Yeah, it's a purposeful passive approach because there is a Martis. You don't want to feed him kills, and SRG know they have better late game scaling anyway. If they can get a couple kills here and there while keeping themselves ahead in terms of gold, the game will just naturally flow into their favor as long as they don't make a mistake.
And unfortunately for Zorn, he can't even stay there, right? Is there an angle to find some big kicks?
Oh, where's that diversion? In the mid lane.
Who was looking for Sakai maybe. But
yeah.
Stormy now, there's a potential angle. Cramp on the back. It's a collapse. Warlord flickers into the wall, and here comes AOG on top of him. Might be a fatal mistake. This is the momentum SRG is looking for. Pedal to the metal. Here comes the Nitro Boost, supercharged. Second kill for them. A smooth weakness points unlocked, but unworthy of the crossbow tank. And the hidden technique still in SRG's grabs.
That is the official tempo breaker right there. The fight that really turns things around in the mid game. I talked about this timing, 6 to 8 minutes. Vamos is able to fight at this point, but if SRG is winning fights instead at this timing, then you have a problem on your hands. Remember, SRG is at match point. They are 1 win away from creating history by being the first Malaysian back-to-back champions. Team Vamos, this Martis pick has worked well for them in the past, but at 0-1-0, 8.5 minutes in,
oh my goodness,
his viability is turning down to nothing.
And red is their blood, yellow is their pride, and that's the motto of SRG. Coming into this, even the AI winning rate says the Selangor Red Giants have a damn good chance of making that back-to-back. For some, it's a fever dream, but for SRG, they have been doubted this season. Some of the past were rocky, but right now it seems to be the perfect ending about to be penned.
Yeah, I feel like the reason we see Loyi being led through as well, Warlord doesn't seem to have much mastery on the hero. Diversion plays have not been working out for Team Vamos throughout this game, and without it, a lot of map pressure gone.
And Zorn will find a kick, but that's purified, so Zorn just evaporates. A good attempt from Vamos, but SRG came prepared. Yin Yang reaction on Innocent. Crossbow tank on the Nest. Innocent will be safe. And Team Vamos, you feel the desperation, you smell the tension, but SRG will not let themselves break.
Nets is lucky that Innocent didn't have his Inspire there, or that would have been a death. Oh, they're jumping in again.
AOG stolen Decimate, but unfortunately Stormy can't use it. Maybe it's a chance for Team Vamos to mount a counter-attack, but Innocent is always going to be an issue. So for SRG, without Stormy, they will back off, Lord up in 80 seconds.
All right. Vamos, they need to keep finding these small little wins. SRG has a huge lead right now, but it's actually not as big as Vamos had in the previous game. It is still something they could come back from, but you're going to need a pretty clean fight with multiple deaths in your favor to be able to achieve it. Chibi, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to contribute too much anymore. He really is just an extra body to make sure that Nets can output his damage.
Have you reached a cutoff point where Chibi is more of a durable meat shoe and the kind of burden is on Nets? Or is there still kind of some wiggle room for Chibi to pop off?
The only wiggle room Chibi would have is if Nets and Warlord really whittle down SRG first.
Oh, and a tie into the AOG. They are just leashed by SRG, controlled.
And they found Nets. They really needed to make sure Nets could keep scaling. That's his first death. That's gonna really slow things down. That was the only real win condition Vamos could have played off of, and now Zorn also in trouble.
Terrified, taunt, and a couple of yo-yos in his face. This could be the coup de grace that SRG is looking for, or the prelude to it. Nets will be coming back and have some decent wave clear with their Luo Yi, but SRG have set themselves up for Lord number 2.
And they are setting themselves up for victory and a second championship title right now. Team Vamos, we already mentioned, their lineup is, they find something at least. Nets with the kill on Gram.
But there's gonna be a trade. Another crossbow tank. Smooth for Gram. I suppose so, both XP lane is full, but I mean, if you're Vamos, you need the whole team, and without Smooth, SRG once more gains back possession of the map.
Trading 1 for 1 when you're behind though is still actually pretty good, especially if it is Nets who is getting the kills. This Harif is the only thing they can really depend on. If he and Warlord can whittle down SRG and prolong the fight with Revitalize, Chibi can actually still start racking up a little bit of effectiveness by finishing people off with Decimate. It's a little late, but better late than never at this stage, because the alternative is them falling short of the finish line with a 4-2 score, a second season in a row.
Look back at the pages of history, it's essentially a different chapter, but the same ending. You might just get that. SRG really setting themselves up for that conclusion.
We have to remember, although they are part of a new team now, most of this lineup from Vamos was originally from the Homeboys. And last season, they lost the Grand Finals to SRG 4-2. Right now, it seems on route for that to repeat. And I'm sure that Vamos is having those flashbacks. They do not want this history, this dark moment in time for them to happen again in the present. All things considered, Nets actually even in farm with Innocent. It's the rest of the team that's having difficulty keeping up with the front line of SRG.
Cram in particular with a 3k goal lead over Smooth. The direct comparison there is not even close, feels unfair. Zorn from the back looks for a kick. It's gonna find it, but in the wrong angle. Again, another good attempt that ends in vain.
Such good reaction timing from Skies, and this is the problem with Assassins. If you give them even the slightest millisecond of time to move, they are going to move. The kick in the wrong direction was just the nail in the coffin.
Here comes AOG. SRG looking for a potential win. They break down the structures first. Vamos might just meet the same ending despite being on a different team. They decimate Innocent as Chibi keeps the hope of the team alive. And that's going to be 3 dead. Nets will make it. Number 4, Stormy decimates one before he goes down. And Vamos still has a lifeline.
I mentioned the possibility, but I didn't think it would happen. If SRG prolonged the fight too much, if they took too much damage, Chibi managed to chain double decimate off of Gram and then Innocent, the 2 most important targets for them. And now they're gonna push down mid to take as many structures as they can before SRG can respawn.
The guys will try with the fracture, but Vamos can't get any structures. Holy Shoe still there, or at least Sakai is a Holy Shoe in this case. Best case scenario for Vamos, but look at SRG. They've broken every single inhibitor And now Vamos have to constantly swim against the current.
It is a much needed breathing room for Vamos, but will it be enough? Or will it simply be a drop in the ocean that has been stained red by the Selangor Red Giants? The next Lord will be coming up in 25 seconds. Only a 3K gold lead actually for SRG, which isn't that big of a difference now that we are 15 minutes in and Nets is 5-1-3. Angle is important. Vamos was only able to get that because Selangor Red Giants underestimated their opponents. They didn't have to worry about the decimate this whole time and thought that Martes had become ineffective at this stage of the game. But that percentage HP, that execute at the end, you still have to respect it.
And also Warlord, right? Tons of damage, tons of control. Just got a Wishing Lantern. Vamos put on the back foot once more. And if you remember Deja Vu, last season it was a Lord fight that ended the run for these ex-Homeboy players. And SRG have full control of the objective. Cram himself is enough. Diversion. Innocent. Moves away just in time, but this is such a dangerous position. Smell the scent, you feel the breath, but there's no opening yet.
They do have to send someone back. There's a wave pushing in mid. Team Vamos cannot afford to lose to a back door at this stage. That would be heartbreaking, not to mention losing the championship. The chances are not over for them. Nets and Warlord actually do have some good damage if SRG position themselves incorrectly, but you can see that they're playing a lot safer now. Proper respect being given over to their opponents after that previous blunder.
Now Stormy stole the glorious pathway. A change of scenery, especially the utility that it provides, and now SRG will look to run down the Lord. Vamos just cannot do anything, not with Chibi on housekeeping duty.
All right, there's a Lord. No inhibitor standing for Team Vamos. Unfortunately, their wave clear is not the best with this lineup either. With no towers to hold, this is going to take a miracle defense. And SRG knows it. As long as they don't make the same mistake, as long as they don't underestimate Team Vamos, the path to a back-to-back championship stands right in front of them. Vamos, can they hold this push?
And on red side, SRG about to paint in red. Glorious pathway is going to be used. AOG to the backline. They split the fight. Crab is safe. Lord is still there. Warlord is low. Innocent just goes for him. This could be the final blow. They rallied an army in Season 11. Built an empire in Season 12. Forged a dynasty in Season 13. And now they will carve a legacy in Season 14 as the first ever back-to-back champion.
Oh my goodness, it has happened! History has been made! Our first ever back-to-back champions in MPL Malaysia! Selangor Red Giants